Hey there, YouTube land. Big Dave here. It's Sunday morning. I'm having my coffee. Spread the love. I'm still waiting for my coffee sponsor, by the way. I might be waiting a long time. So I kind of felt that this last Sunday, I think I put something up about viewer questions. So I thought that was a good way to go. And most of the other stuff, I actually spent some time looking at a few of the older videos, which are, the technology is low on them, you know. Some of them are already 6-7 years old, and when I first started making videos, the technology was very low, and you know, I was only using a computer, and then I switched to the iPad, and I'm still using an iPad. So and here I am, I'm in the kitchen. I'm not changing that either, you know. Sometimes I'm in my practice area or in the studio, but this seems to work the best for me, right here in the kitchen. So anyway, so I thought I would just hit a couple viewer questions, and one of them is about social media, and I don't have Instagram, no. I probably won't have Instagram. I doubt it. I don't know. My time on social media is kind of limited, you know. I do YouTube, and I do have a Facebook channel that I use for gigs, but right now I'm not playing any gigs. I have 2 recording things coming up in September, and I'm kind of getting focused on that. And but as far as traveling or playing live gigs and all that stuff, right now I'm in limbo. I don't really want to make those commitments right now. I've been doing other stuff. So you know, once you start committing to things, then you have to do them. You have to run around, and you got to get dressed and be at a certain place at a certain time and all this kind of stuff. So right now we're not doing that. And I like I said, my focus is on some other things, but I am still involved in a couple of recording projects, and one's coming up in September, and the other one is a little bit later. But anyway, so somebody sent me a question about my equipment, which is always something that comes up. And but I wanted to cover the Instagram thing, you know. Like, I don't have Instagram. I don't know. I'm not really into it, and I don't know. That's how I feel about it. I do this, and we'll leave it at that at the moment. So anyhow, I mostly play tenor. That was the question that I had, was what do I play the most? Tenor or flute? Those are the 2 things. And I'm not really technically a flute player, but I've done a lot of flute gigs, and I don't know. That's one of the things that's made me some money in the bank, is playing flute gigs, you know. I don't consider myself to be a flutist per se, but, you know, I can get around pretty okay. I think it's what I play rather than how great or not I am, you know, at playing the flute, because, you know, I would say I'm good, medium, you know, and but I'm not a flutist, but I think what it is that I play is more attractive than whatever you know, great technical skills that I don't have. So sometimes that's an important lesson to keep in mind too. It's not always how many millions of notes you're going to play. Is what you're playing compelling enough for someone to want to use that situation, or do they hear something in your sound or your individuality that they want to deal with, that they want that specific thing. So that's something to think about, because there's so much focus today on patterns and playing a million notes and whatever. And I think that that's okay. That's the learning of the skills. You know, you always want to be learning skills. It's like a violinist. You know, they go through the books and they learn a certain thing, and you're expected to be able to play a certain level of stuff. And it's the same kind of thing. You know, you want to have your scales down and you know your arpeggios and know what chords work and stuff like that. Okay, so anyway, so that's the answer to that question, as I mostly play tenor and flute. And sometimes I play soprano, and I used to play a lot of clarinet, but hardly anything anymore. I barely take it out. I can still play it, no problem. I would have to take it out for a week or so and mess around with it and get it back to, you know, feeling the way I feel it needs to work, and then I could go out and do something, you know. But I'm very comfortable with the clarinet. I played it for years and years, and like I said, at one time I had a lot of clarinet things, but now it's almost non-existent. But I do take it out and used it. I used it not that long ago on something I had to do. So the tenor, well, I have my tenor here, one of them. This is one I use a lot. So it's a Mark 7, a Selmer. It's kind of beat up. It's got a lot of crashes and stuff. And it has a lot of blue tape in different places. This is mostly for certain fingerings. I have a rubber pad under here, and I've talked about this before because somebody asked me a question about the blue tape. But if you can see this top key, I have a rubber pad underneath this key, so that when I push down on this, that this is definitely down all the way. This is mostly for certain overtone frequencies that I don't want this key coming up. And this one also, when this goes down, this is down all the way with it. And I find I have this large pad under here so that it definitely goes down. This has to do with, you know, reaching certain fingerings, like high G sharp that I use is this one. And I need that to be absolutely down, this key, the little B flat key. That has to be down underneath this fingering along with this and this. Now that's why those are there. Underneath the side key, I'm looking to see where that is. There you go, you can see it now. I have a couple layers of black rubber tape under there. That's to keep this at a specific handling so it's not too high or low. And also, I don't want it when it's just metal under here. See, I can go like this and it's almost quiet except for the pop of the pad. When you take this away, the metal under it makes some kind of a weird noise. So I like it like that so it doesn't have that vibration. I make sure that the B flat keys and the B key are always closing very well. So when they go down, first of all, they go down easy and they go down together. And the thing I like about the Mark 7 is it has this big paddle. So when you play, and I have large hands, but so when you play, I can just grab the end and I can slide from this to this if I want to. And I can slide across. I don't care about this key so much. This is the B. It's no big deal, but the C sharp, there's lots of room for the C sharp. And I can slide really easy across here and down. I use the Mark 6 too sometimes. And that, I have a different neck on it. I use a Max Sax neck. It's nothing great about, you know, there's nothing great about that particular neck aside from uh, the way when you blow into it, it has a faster, it speaks faster, and the tuning. That's the main thing, is the tuning. This is the original neck on here, and I have another neck too, but it tunes a little different. So I spend a lot of time obsessing over tuning, because when you play with certain instruments, the pitch is not always the same. So I spend a lot of time making sure that I can tune to keyboards and stuff like that. Guitars are very variable, you know. Sometimes some guitars, as they go up the fingerboard, they get higher. So if you're at a fixed pitch and let's say you're at like keyboard pitch, and some guitars, as they go up higher on the fingerboard, the pitch actually goes up a little bit. And so it's more variable with that. That's how it is with a string instrument. Even though when they play solo lines and stuff, they a lot of times bend and tune and, you know, get into the cracks to match the other instruments. But still, with the chording and stuff, like I just said, sometimes the pitch gets a little bit higher as they go up the fingerboard, and it's just the way it is. So, but I spend a lot of time obsessing over where the tuning is. These are the reeds I use most of the time. I mean, at least for the last couple years, this is what I've been using more than anything else. These Rigati traditional gold, whatever. And I use either 2.5 strong or 3 light. And it depends on the weather, the mouthpiece, what I have to do. If I need more underneath tones and stuff, I might go with the 2.5 strong. If I need more bite and more aggressiveness or whatever, more overtones and things like that, chances are I'll go with the 3.5 light, or the 3 light rather. 3.5 light would be too strong for what I do. These are the ones that work for me. And I have other reeds. I use Van Doren reeds too. And those would be like ZZ Jazz 3 I use a lot, or 3.5, 2.5 traditional purple box. I use those sometimes. So it's fluid. It's not like, you know, I could have something going on and I have a certain thing I hear in my head I need to do or want to do. I have to have a certain sound. And different reeds have different vibrations. Some are more buzzy, some are darker, some have more of a center of focus. So the more there's a heart in the middle of the reed, the more focus it's going to have. You know, I was listening to an interview not that long ago. I saw Lenny Pickett was talking about why he uses those bass clarinet reeds instead of tenor reeds, and he was talking about the same thing, the middle. The heart is taller. There's more there. And that's why he uses the bass clarinet reeds rather than the tenor reeds, because the middle, for him, there's more there for him to get his magic out of, you know? And then I still use these neck straps. I've had them for, I don't know, quite a few years now. These are the ones from Roberto's Winds. And I find that now they're a little older and they're stretched out. They're better, because they don't slip as much. When I first got them, they used to slip. But I also have a solid leather one that has a buckle on it. And the thing about that one is it doesn't slide up or down. So once I set it, it stays in one place, and I don't have to have that drifting, you know, which is how all of a sudden you're getting your heads down and you're trying to find the horn, you know, and then now you got to play with it and it doesn't want to come up, and it's a pain in the neck. So once I set my strap, I kind of want it to stay in that place, and I want it to keep drifting up and down. And then the mouthpieces at the moment, the things I'm using for what I'm working on is I'm using a Van Doren T95, and this is a Rico H ligature that I've had for at least 10 years. This T95 is a little bit opened at the tip, and some of the baffle is taken down, so that it speaks faster and it's just a bit darker. It has less spitties to it. Then when you get them originally, there's a lot of baffle in the front. I have that taken down a little bit, and the tip is just maybe like a hair opened up, and the tip is thinned out, so it speaks faster. And then the other thing I use on here is an Auto-Link size 8. This just happens to be one that I like. Out of it's had quite a bit of use, but I like this one. It plays on this horn. It tunes. That's again where I was talking about the tuning, you know. And sometimes I use a regular Auto-Link ligature, but lately I've been using one of these Van Doren ligatures because I found I was getting better low notes. They were just working better with this ligature. So that's what I'm using right now. I mean, ligatures don't really change the sound all that much. And I have another video, we talked about this. They don't change the sound all that much. What they change is when you blow into the instrument, how it responds. And also the frequencies. Some of them have more higher partials, or they allow the reed to create and have more higher partials. Some of them have more buzz. Some of them are more direct. But then some ligatures drop notes. You put the ligature on and all of a sudden you're missing like 3-4 notes. Put a different ligature on and those notes are back. So if you're missing notes and stuff, put a different ligature on, you might find that all of a sudden those notes are there. And that's it. That's what I'm using right now. Like I said, sometimes I use the Mark 6, and it's very similar set up this way. The only difference is like I have another T95 I use on there, and it's almost the same as this. It's a little bit closer than this one, but it's basically almost the same. And right now I'm using a T9 metal on there. And that one is just out of the box. I've had it for 10 years, I bet, or whatever. I don't know how long it is. I've had it for a while. And this horn I'm playing about 7 years. And I rarely change. You know, I know some people, they're always getting something different and changing something. I use the same stuff. I mean, I have about 8 to 10 mouthpieces that I interchange when I need a certain thing. But right now, what I'm working on, this is what I need. This is what I'm using. So there it is. And I appreciate you guys following along. And if you like the video, please click like. That gives me an idea that you kind of liked it or not. And if you have a question or a comment, as always, you just put it underneath. And I read the questions and I try to decide, you know, and sometimes people send me messages on my other space and stuff. So anyway, I appreciate that. And I'm going to go make another cup of coffee. And that's it. Have a great day. Bye-bye.